Our next topic will be about chapter 10 of the book. This would be our module 5, gases. So characteristics of gases, unlike liquids and solids, gases expand to fill their containers. So comparing the three states of matter, ang gases ang medyo kuan siya, lihok og iyahang atomic structure. In terms sa iyahang molecules kay really kakamove siya, ma-expand siya, and then iyang gina-fill ang container, like iyahang kung unsay volume sa container is iyahang gina-fill in. They are also highly compressible. Compressible means pwede nimo siya compress or maduot, ma-pressurize nimo siya. So next is have extremely low densities. Tungod sa low density siya, it's because of tungod sa iyang mass. Maka-affect sa iya tungod sa iyang mass kay gaan kay siya, no? So density baliktad, density is equal to mass over volume. So ang iyahang low sa density directly affected by its mass. So bahalag dako kani ang volume na gina-occupy kung iyang mass is gaan kay siya. So gamay gid kaayo ang density sa isa ka specific gaseous molecule or gaseous element. So examples of gases, we have the noble gases, we have helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and we have also the diatomic molecules. We have hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine, and we have some compounds, carbon dioxide, NH3, SO2, and CH4. So they are example of gases. Gases pushing. So unsa may ginapakuan ani because of its atomic structure, ang tendency ni gases is mag-tinucloride sila, no, within the compressed area or isolated area. So gas molecules are constantly in motion tungod sa lagyo ilang distansya with each other. As they move and strike a surface, they push on that surface, causing the force to build in. So once mo strike in over siya or mo banda ang isa ka gaseous molecule sa isa ka surface, mag-push siya ay mag-create siya force. And then if you could measure the total amount of force exerted by gas molecules hitting the entire surface at any one instant, we would know the pressure the gas is exerting. So kabalutan na pressure is equal to the force per area. So hagagikan ang idea sa pressure, it's the force na gina-exert sa certain material, specifically example is the gas to specific area. So kung siya kabanda, so mana siya iyahang pressure. So the effect of gas pressure, so the pressure exerted by a gas can cause some amazing and startling effects. Whenever there is a pressure difference, a gas will flow from area of high pressure to low pressure. High to low gets always, no? Then if there is something in the gas path, the gas will try to push it along as the gas flows. So once mo na siya ang pasabot na kanang literal na ginaingon nila i-pressurize. So meaning magtinuklura ang iyahang gas particles ana. Kay mangita man gyud ang isa ka gas molecule o iyahang lusutanan kung ahan niya asa makagawas. So mo na siyang ma-pressurize siya. So for units of pressure is we have pascals and we have bar and we have also ATM, and then dagdagan pa, no, we have bar, ATM, pascal, we have so ang pascal is equal to 1 Newton per meter squared. So will be your 1 Newton is the force exerted per area sa isa ka material. So force per area. So 1 pascal is equal to 1 Newton or N, 1 Newton per meter squared. So pwede po nato masuwat si 1 Newton is equal to your kilogram mass times your gravity or acceleration. So kilogram meter per second square. So 1 Newton is your mass times G or mg. That's your force. So 1 bar is equal to 10 raised to Pascal, ay 10 raised to 5 Pascal or is equal to 100 kilopascal. So kanya itong usually ginagamit ng Pascals. Nalang tayo mga conversions lang to bar and other units of pressure. So we are also using mmHg or torr. So they are equal, no? These units are literally the difference in the heights measured in mm of two connected column of mercury. So usually ang mmHg is makuan siya sa katong ginagamit na instrument which is manometer or katong YouTube manometer. Usually mmHg ang iyahang kuan ani. It's because ang material na naa diri sa tube kani siya na part diri is kanina ay gray material. It's made of mercury. Ano siyang mmHg, millimeter of mercury. Ni siya millimeter of mercury. So basically ang mmHg or torr is the difference sa heights. So unit of pressure Japon siya. So, yun. Standard pressure, standard pressure is the normal atmospheric pressure at sea level. So it is equal to 1 atm or equal to 14.7 psi or pounds per square inch na siya, psi. Then 760 torr or equally the same to 760 mmHg per millimeter mercury. It is also equal to 101,325 Pascal or 101.325 kilopascal. So let's try convert 0.357 ppm to torr and then 6.6 times 10 raised to negative 2 torr to 8 atmospheres. Then convert 147.2 kilopascal to torr. So ito lang siyang equal. First is we have 0.357 atm to torr. So kabalutan na 1 atm is equal to 760 torr or mmHg. So the conversion for that will be 1 atm, so 760 torr. So cancel ang imong atm na unit, you're left with torr, which is matang ipangita, no? So the value for conversion is 0.357 multiplied to 760 only. So that is equal to 271.32 torr, or equal to, since three significant figures, we have 271 torr. 271 dot torr. So number 2, convert 6.6. We have 6.6 times 10 raised to negative 2 torr to atmosphere. So bali siya, no, gikan ganina atm to torr, karon torr to atmosphere. So bali ato lang siya 760 torr is equal to 1 atm or atmosphere. So cancel torr na symbol, unit, you're left with atm. So you just divide 6.6 times 10 raised to negative 2. 6.6 divided by 100 times divided by 760. So you have 8.7 times 10 raised to negative 5 atm. So you just divide 6.6 times 10 raised to negative 2 divided by 760. So the result is 0.0000868 or 8.7 times 10 raised to negative 5 if you convert it to scientific notation. Since we are using two significant figures only, so we'll convert this one to two significant figures. So lastly, we have 147.2 kilopascal to torr. So ano na siya? Kabaluta na 101.325 kilopascal is just equal to 760 torr. So base ato ang table ganina, di ba? 101.325 is equal to 760 torr. So cancel kPa or kilopascal, you're left with torr. So that is 147.2 times 760 divided by 101.325. So you have 1104.09 torr or 1.104 times 10 raised to 1 to 3 times 10 raised to 3 torr. If you want to convert this to scientific notation, same thing will happen to this one. If you want to convert this 271 to scientific notation para nasa 3 significant figures, you can do it as 2.71 times 10 raised to 2 torr. Kanya to answer. Manometer. So the manometer is used to measure the difference in pressure between atmospheric pressure and that of gas in the vessel. So to get the pressure sa kaning na gas diri, no, kanina part, kaning sa may purple Tapos na i-circle dira. So to get the pressure of that gas na ga-exert niya pagawas, it is just equal to the pressure, atmospheric pressure or katong pressure na mosulod sa manometer plus the pressure sa difference sa height sa katong mercury inside the manometer. So atong sa figure dire, ang pressure based sa height will be 136.4, which is the distance from the bottom of the manometer kaning na U na part kani dire sa may gray na U, tapos taman sa tip sa end sa mercury katong pagawas dito sa iyahang tube. So imainusan din siya sa katong difference or ang height niya sa katong opposite niya na tip or katong pasulod dito sa may gas minus the opposite niya na equivalent niya na side. So for this one is 136.4 minus 103.8 millimeters. So that's the pressure based on the difference sa height. So again, the pressure of this gas will be based from the sum of the pressure, atmospheric pressure, plus the pressure of the height. 136.4 mmHg minus 103.8 mm. So that's the pressure given by the height. So yun. So we have a problem using a manometer to measure gas pressure. So on a certain day, a laboratory barometer indicates that atmospheric pressure is 764.4 torr. A sample of gas is placed in a flask attached to an open-end mercury manometer, and a meter stick is used to measure the height of the mercury in two arms of the U-tube. The height of the mercury in the open end is 136.4 millimeter. So mo siya ang height sa open end arm, and the height in the arm in contact with the gas flask is 103.8 millimeter. What is the pressure of the gas in the flask? So for this one, pressure sa imuhang gas will be equal to the pressure, atmospheric pressure, plus the pressure sa height. Yun. The atmospheric pressure is 764.7 torr. Then, the pressure sa height is based on the sa difference ani 136.4 millimeter mmHg and then 103.8 millimeter Hg, or equal to 136.4 minus 103.8 mmHg or torr. Meaning to say, the pressure of the gas will be just equal to, this is 797.3 torr. But the problem is you need to find the pressure of the gas in terms in atmosphere. So 1 torr, again 760 torr conversion is equal to 1 atm ang conversion. So again, 760 torr is equal to 1 atm. So your cancel torr, mabilin is ang atm. So the pressure of the gas in terms sa atm will be 797.3 divided by 760. So that is equal to 1.049 atm. So ang question then sa next, letter B, is what will be the pressure's gas or the gas pressure in terms of kilopascal. So this is equal to 1.049 atm. Conversion will be 1 atm is equal to 101.325 kilopascal. Kasunod, so this will be the conversion. So perform necessary operation. So 0.49 times 101.325. So the conversion of 1.049 atm to kilopascal will be 106.3 kilopascal. So this will be the pressure of the gas in terms sa unit na kilopascal. The next topic will be about Boyle's law. So kailan sa ni Boyle's law no? Sa junior high school pa. So let's just have a review on this one. So Robert Boyle, born on 1627, died on 1691. So iyahang idea about iyahang law about the gas will be pressure of a gas is inversely proportional to its volume, given a constant daw iyahang T or temperature and amount of gas. So iyahang graph of its pressure versus the volume, since the pressure is inversely proportional to your volume. So ang resulting niya na graph will be a curve. Tapos, the graph of the pressure versus the 1 over volume is a straight line. Okay, inversely proportional na to ganina. So kung 1 over siya, so straight line na dayon ang iyahang graph. Meaning to say, according to Boyle's law, as P increases, V decreases by the same factor. So, given na constant ang imong temperature and then amount sa imong gas or your N. Formula for this one will be pressure 1 times V1 will be equal to pressure 2 times V2. So, this will be the graph of pressure versus volume according to Boyle's law. So, kung makita na to, pressure, the first one sa left side is you have pressure versus the volume. Imuhang pressure is nasa x-axis, ang imuhang volume is nasa y-axis. Meaning to say, if padulong ka sa right side or increase the pressure, ang gakitabo sa volume is ga-decline or gagamay. So, muna siya ang inversely proportional yung pasabot. Meaning to say, kung unsay gakitabo, ga-increase the pressure, opposite na may tabo kay volume. So, that's for Boyle's law na concept. So, dire is gibaliktad man yan, 1 over P or just the reciprocal of your pressure versus your volume na graph, ang gakitabo na dayon is straight line na rin siya. So, Boyle's law, ang molecular view, pressure is caused by the molecule striking the sides of the container. So, when you decrease the volume of the container with the same number of molecules in the container, more molecules will hit the wall at the same instant. This results in increasing the pressure. So, ang iyahang interpretation, ang iyahang i-conduct na experiment ani na time is when you increase daw the volume na magpa-compress sa volume. So say for example kaning number 1, ang volume niya is 1 liter at first. Tapos nag-exert ang the same quantity of your gas na naa sa sulod sa isolated container. So ang mass na ga-exert ana is around 1 kilogram, say for example. So once you compress that one and then you increase the volume to 2 kilogram, the same Japon ang iyahang container. So danan ang volume sa katong ang volume na ginagalawan ni mga gases is mugamay siya. So mabantayan nato na ang volume sa first picture is around 1 liter. Pag abot dayon when you compress that given that you increase the volume of your material katong ga-compress sa iyaha is mugamay ang iyahang volume sa sulod. So from 1 liter na decrease siya to 0.5 liters. At the same time, saka ang iyahang pressure kay mangita magid og pamaagi si gas na mo escape. So magbanda-banda gina siya. So ma-pressurize siya So that's the idea for Boyle's law. So P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. And then the pressure is inversely proportional to your volume. So once you increase from 1 kilogram to 2 kilogram, you increase the volume. So ang itabo din kay pressure is you decrease the volume, kanina volume din ang mass ng ilan. Ang volume is 1 liter. Ang volume is 1 liter to 0.5, so nagnaog siya, And then, ang itabo din kay pressure is nag-inversely proportional sa or nisaka sa from 1 atm to 2 atm. So, next one is we have Charles' law. Si Jack Charles, we have 1746, born in 1746 and died in 1823. So, for this one, volume is directly proportional to the temperature. So ganina, kung si Boyle's is inversely proportional ang pressure to the volume, diri is volume is directly proportional to the temperature. Temperature ta diri ha. So ang iyang gi-constant ani is ang pressure na pod. So meaning to say, kung i-increase nimo ang volume, mo increase ang temperature. Kung i-decrease nimo ang volume, mo decrease pod ang temperature. So according to Charles, at constant P and an amount of gas, the graph of your volume versus P is a straight line. Again, according to Charles, the graph of your V versus P is straight line. So once you increase the temperature, directly maapektuhan in proportion ang volume. So, may-increase po imong volume. So, yun. The temperature for this one will be in Kelvin scale. Kelvin siya, dili siya Celsius or Fahrenheit. So, for this one, ang constant nato is yung T and then amount of the gas. So, the formula for Charles' law will be V1 over T1 is equal to V2 over T2. Kung kay Boyle's is P1, V1, or P1 times V1 is equal to P2 times V2. Kay Charles is V1 over T1 is equal to V2 over T2. Charles' law and absolute zero. So if you plot volume versus temperature no, for any gas at constant pressure, the points will all fall on straight line. So muna siyang nahitabo no, according to Charles' law. Tapos if the lines are extrapolated back to volume of zero, they all show the same temperature, which is negative 273.15 cold as the absolute zero. So isa ra atong kaingnan no, when you plot the volume versus temperature at constant pressure. So same ba siya na sa tawag ni straight line, and then once you extrapolate or imuhang i-zoom out no ang mga graph no on your volume versus temperature at constant pressure, mubangga gid siya or ig-on gid niya isa ka point, which is the negative 273.15, which is considered as the absolute zero. So diri as ang red na graph is a volume of 1 gram of oxygen at 1,500 torr. Ang pink is volume of 1 gram of oxygen at 2,500 torr oxygen gas. And then volume of 0.5 grams of oxygen gas at 1,500 torr. And then we have oxygen gas, ay SO2 gas, 0.5 grams at 1,500 torr. So given that they have kanang kung i-increase doon mo ang volume no, or ang temperature aning mga gases is kung increase po ang iyahang volume, then causing na mag-create siya og straight line nga graph. So let's try this one. Example is a gas has a volume of 2.57 liter at 0 degrees Celsius. What was the temperature at 2.8 liters? So what will be the temperature of this volume of gas at specific temperature to 2.8 liter? So naatay given na to is we have the volume 1, which is 2.57 liter. We have the volume 2 is 2.8 liter. So i-expand siya no. Meaning to say directly proportional ang yahang naitabo sa yaha. Possible. So what will be the temperature at what will be the temperature of this volume no? After you increase the volume from 257 to 2.8 liter at from 0 degrees Celsius to what temperature? Solution. So we have V1 over T1. According to Charles, we have volume 2 divided by T2. So, anong no? Butngan na nato og mga given ay mga data nato. So we have volume 1 is 2.57 liters divided by 0 degrees Celsius plus convert that one to Kelvin. So 273.15 Kelvin is equal to your volume 2, which is 2.8 liters divided by your temperature 2. So perform necessary operation. So we have 2.8 times 273.15 divided by 2.57. So you have temperature 2 nemo is 297.60 Kelvin. So amo na siya gikan. So gikan na siya dire. So you have So once you divide this one to 2.57 liter, cancel na siya. 2.57 liter. So cancel ang liter, mabilin is ang Kelvin. So the answer for this one is 297.6 Kelvin. So when you convert this one to Celsius, you just deduct or get the difference of this one to sa 273.15 ang conversion niya. Minus na siya 273.15 to get the value of the Celsius scale. To check is since T and volume, T and V are directly proportional. So when the volume decreases, the temperature should decrease also. So tanaw na to diri no sa atong gibuhat ang naitabo is nag-increase man ang iyahang volume no so from 2.57 to 57 liters to 2.8 directly mo temperature will also increase. So from 0 degrees or 273.15 Kelvin to 297.6 Kelvin. So nag-increase dapat siya. So next one, we have Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law or the concept introduced by Amadeo Avogadro. So born in 1776 and died in 1856. So on his proposal, volume is directly proportional to the number of gas volume. So yaha is gas volume, no? The number of gas molecules or the N. So V is equal to constant times N. So while P and V is constant for this concept. Again, the volume is directly proportional to the number of gas molecules or your N. So directly proportional ang volume and then the N. So the equation will be V1 over N1 is equal to V2 over N2. That's for Avogadro's law. So when you graph the volume versus the number of moles, ang magawas is straight line showing the volume versus number of moles. So difference ani. So Avogadro's law, equal volume of gases at constant pressure and temperature have the same number of mole of gases. So a comparison between helium, nitrogen gas, and CH4 gas. So makita na to at volume 22.4 liter. This is the standard volume, no? 22.4 liters. So same ra siya, no? Ang pressure is 180 N. And then temperature is 0 degrees. Then mass is dito siya nag-vary. 4 grams si helium, 28 grams si nitrogen, and then 16 grams si grams per mole si CH4. So number of gas molecules is 6.02 times 10 raised to 23 or the Avogadro's number. So again, the volume is directly proportional to your number of moles. Kita na to, ang nag-differ lang for this one is the number of gas or the mass of the gases. Say for example, let's try this problem. 0.225 mole sample of helium has a volume of 4.65 liters. How many moles must be added to give a 6.48 liter na volume? So natin given na N1 na to is 0.225 mole. We have the first volume which is 4.65. Nag-expand siya to 6.48 liters. Pila daw ka moles ang ato ang i-add no? Para mo come out tag inani na volume na expansion. So from 4.65 to 6.48. Given na ang ato ang equation for Avogadro's number will be volume 1 is equal to N1 is equal to volume 2 is equal to N2. So you have volume 1 na value no 4.65 liters. N1 na to is 0.225 mole. Then volume 2 na to is expanded to 6.48 na to liters. And then we need to find the N2. So your N2 is just equal to 6.48 liters times 0.225 mole divided by the 4.65 liters. Cancel 4.65 liters. You're left with N2 sa left side, and then sa right side is you have cancel ang liters, left with unit mole, and then perform 6.48 times 0.225 divided by 4.65. So you have 0.314 moles. So kana ang moles na to ang atong N2 no, or ang mugawa after you expand the volume from 4.65 liters to 6.48. So meaning to say, ang gi-ask na nato is how many moles must be added daw. So moles added will be 0.314 minus the initial nato or the N1 which is 0.225. Ang i-add no, ang na-add from volume 1 to volume 2 na moles is 0.089 mole. We have ideal gas equation. So ideal gas equation is basically a combination of the three laws na atong i-discuss kanina. So a combination of Boyle's, Charles, and Avogadro's law. So when you combine this one, maka-result siya og equation of proportion, no? Proportion equation, which is volume is directly proportional to the inverse of NP over P. Kung kang Boyle's ganina is you have V is inversely proportional to your P. Your P is directly proportional to your temperature, and your volume is inversely proportional to your number of moles per Avogadros. When you combine that one, kani ang result. So natay ko ano, gina-multiply dara na proportionality constant, which is K1, K2, and so on and so forth. So kani siyang proportionality constant will be considered as your gas constant. So when you convert that one, ano siyang ideal gas equation, which is PV is equal to N R T. So R will be base sa katong proportionality constant na i-multiply sa iyaha. So this will be your ideal gas equation. PV is equal to nRT. So ideal lang siya kung ideal yung state. So kani ang gamiton. PV is equal to nRT. So the constant of proportionality is known as R, or the gas constant. So it is equal to 0.0, usually itong ginagamit is 8.314 joules per K mole. Kani ikaduha. We also use the 0.08206 liter ATM per K mole, or 1.987 calories per K mole, or 8.314 cubic meter pascal over K mole. And then we have also 62.36 liter torr over K mole. So atong ginagamit nandiri is ang SI unit, which is ang 8.314 na values. So joules per K mole ang iyang units ana, and or meter cube pascal over K mole. Meaning to say, ang joules nimo is equal to meter cube pascal. So same naman siya og values, no? So muna kung gipakita kanina no, ideal gas equation. So this will be the relationship after the combination of the three laws. V is so meaning ani kon direct proportionate or proportional to your NP over P. So you have the proportionality constant or constant of proportionality. You have the R. So mo result na dayon ang imong ideal gas equation, or atong gamiton for ideal gases is PV is equal to nRT. So mo atong gamiton every formula or every kung mag-solve ka og ideal gas. So sample problem. So you have calcium carbonate, the principal compound of limestone, decomposes upon heating to calcium oxide and then CO2. A sample of CaCO3 is decomposed and the carbon dioxide is collected in a 250 ml flask. After decomposition is complete, the gas has a pressure of 1.3 atm at a temperature of 31 degrees Celsius. How many moles of CO2 gas were generated? Collect sa tawag data. So imuhang pressure ay imuhang kwan is ang N. So pangitaon is N. Ang pressure nato is 1.3 atm. So this one. We have the volume. Natay volume nga 250 ml flask. So divide by 1,000 para makuha ang liter. So this is equal to 0.25 liter. You have the PV and R. Ang temperature nato is equal to 31 degrees Celsius plus 273. To convert that one to Kelvin scale. So you have 304.15. Ito ba? 304.15 Kelvin. So this will be the values na atong gamiton sa equation na PV is equal to nRT. So ang pangitaon na nato is N. So ato ang new equation would be PV is over RT is equal to the pressure is 1.3 atm times the volume is 0.25 liter over 0.08206 liter atm per k-mole times temperature 304.15 Kelvin. So I used the different R no or the gas constant. It's because ang naa sa iyang ay numerator is liter atm para dali ra ang cancellation. Makancel siya diretso. Or you can also use joules per k-mole, but you need to convert that one pa to aning atm and then liter to joules. So kani siya mas dali na siya no. So memorize ka og 0.08206 liter atm per k-mole. So makancel ang k, mabinlan ka og mole. So 1.3. So that is 1.3 times 0.25 to 0.325. 0.325. 0.325. 1.3 times 0.25 divided by 24.95 85 49. So you have around 0.0130 moles. Your N is 0.0130 moles of your carbon dioxide. So same ra Japon. Example number 2 is the gas pressure is in an aerosol can is 1.5 atm at 25 degrees Celsius. Assuming that the gas obeys an ideal gas equation, what is the pressure when the can is heated to 450 degrees Celsius? So PV is equal to nRT. So ang yung giingon dire is ga-obey siya sa ideal gas equation. Meaning to say, when you heat the certain gas ani na state to you increase the temperature, ipasaka nimo, same ra japon ang iyahang component or characteristics, no? So meaning to say, when you what's the pressure? So imong mole ana is constant ra japon. So meaning to say your PV over T or T1 B1 temperature is equal to your P2 temperature. Ama nakuha siya, sir. Kani pwede rin ako i-cancel ang volume. It's because wala man siya wala nag-change ang volume. So nag-remain constant siya. Ang mga nag-remain constant mo ato ang iyahang akong i-cancel. So ang moles niya, ang gas constant nag-remain ra japon, and then your volume is nag-remain. So pwede ra japon na P1 is equal to T1 equals P2 over V2 at T2. So this will be your proportion or equation na gamiton for this one. So from 1.5 atm daw, 1.5 atm, gihit nimo siya at 25 degrees Celsius plus 273. What will happen to the pressure when you heat the gas can or the can to 450 degrees Celsius? So what will happen to the pressure? So your pressure 2 will become from 1.5 mahimo siyang around 3.6 atm. So halos mataig once more than times 2 siya, no? Meaning to say, when you increase the temperature from 25 degrees or room temperature to this temperature 450, ang atuang pressure no will also increase from 1.5 to 3.6 atm. So based sa ideal gas equation kay ang giingon man is nag-obey man sa ideal gas ang imuhang aerosol can.